Do you want to know how to attract more viewers to your food blog? Well, one important strategy is search engine optimization. It's all about getting search engines to take notice of your posts so that more people can discover the amazing content they've created on your food blog. In this video, I'll share with you some handy tips for crafting SEO-friendly recipe posts that will not only catch the eye of your readers, but also rank highly in search engine results. So let's get started. I'm Tim from RealWebsiteHints.com, and it's my mission to help you find the best and easiest ways of creating great-looking websites. So let's get started and figure out how to use search engine optimization on our food blog. So what's the purpose of search engine optimization? As a blogger, you definitely want your content to reach a wide audience. However, it's equally as important to consider how search engines and your readers will perceive your content. So we need to strike a balance that appeals to both search engines and your audience. When a person uses a search engine to find a recipe, they're usually seeking a specific answer like, how do I make spaghetti carbonara? Or maybe they're looking for suggestions such as gluten-free Italian recipe ideas. The search engine's job is to help viewers find the best answer. That usually means the most complete answer also. And this is where you might see those really long recipe blogs, and you might be asking yourself, why are so many recipe blogs so long? Well, search engines like Google want to deliver the best answer to the end viewer. And that often means the most complete answer, and an answer that not just covers the necessary steps for creating a recipe correctly, but also includes tips, techniques, and other information. Search engines use a wide variety of guidelines to determine the ranking of a post. These guidelines help them to understand the relevance and quality of the content. Among these guidelines are, is the content complete? Does it cover the topic comprehensively? Is the content unique, and does it show original research and analysis? Does the content feel trustworthy, and does it seem to be written by somebody who knows the topic well? If you want to write an awesome blog post that really grabs the attention of your readers and search engines, it's important to create a comprehensive piece that covers all of the bases. So you want to make sure that you include loads of relevant information and show off your expertise on the topic. Don't hold back when it comes to writing. Include everything you know and let your expertise really shine. So what should you write in a recipe post? When crafting a good recipe post, you want to make sure you include the following elements. First, the description of the dish and its history. No matter what type of dish you're writing about, take the time to explain its origin or history, and also your personal history with this recipe. This will give your readers some valuable context and make your posts more engaging. Even a brief overview can go a long way. Next, you want to include an introduction that explains why this particular recipe is worth trying out. You know your recipe better than anyone else, so take a few sentences to explain why this dish is worth making, whether it's a unique twist on an old classic or something that's easy to make and tastes great. Give your readers incentives that they need to try out your recipe. And of course, you want to create a list of ingredients and tools, and any other special preparation that this recipe needs. Your readers will need to know exactly what ingredients and tools they need to make the dish, so be sure to include a thorough list of the necessary items. Also consider adding any special tips on choosing the ingredients and tools. People want to hear your personal experience and what works best. You want to share what your experience is with this recipe. You want to show search engines that you have first-hand experience working with this recipe. And that's an important factor when search engines determine your ranking. So you want to take a few sentences to dive into your personal experiences with the dish. Did you do multiple tests before you wrote the post to find out the best way of doing it? Have you been making this recipe for years and you can describe what you have learned and improved over the years? And you want to share any personal tips and tricks about the process that you can share with your audience. And of course, we want to include a detailed step-by-step instructions on how to make the dish. This is where you really get into the details of making the dish. Provide clear step-by-step instructions that are easy to follow and understand. Don't forget to include any necessary preparation that needs to be done before starting, as well as tips on how to best cook the dish and other important information like cooking time, temperature, and presentation. Visuals or photographs of the process and the finished product are also super important. Using visuals to illustrate your dish is an excellent way to make it stand out from other recipes. People love seeing photos of food, so be sure to include some images of the process and the final product that will make readers drool. You also want to be sure to include a description of the photo in the alt text section when adding the image to your post. This not only helps with accessibility of your website, but it also makes sure that search engines know how the image relates to the post. And to add even more content to your post, you want to add tips for variations and substitutions and/or modifications that can be made to the recipe. Adding in variations and substitutions is a great way to make your post more useful to your readers. So for example, if you're writing about an Italian dish, include some tasty suggestions on how to adapt it to vegan diets or gluten-free lifestyles. Not only is it helpful to your readers, but it also shows search engines that you're providing valuable and comprehensive content. Now this is optional, but if you can include nutrition information about the dish, if you feel comfortable doing so, adding nutrition information can be a great additional feature for your readers. Be sure to include calorie counts, fats, proteins, carbs, and other relevant values for each serving of the dish. This is a great way to provide them with valuable information and also give them the tools they need to make informed decisions about what they're eating. When you add these stats using recipe schema, it can make your recipe look more complete to search engines and more interesting on the search engine's recipe cards. Writing a comprehensive recipe post that has all of these elements can take some time, but it's well worth the effort. Not only will your readers appreciate the detailed content, but search engines will as well. And don't forget to do some keyword research. It's one of the most important things you can do when it comes to search engine optimization is figure out which keywords to use. You want to make sure that you're using keywords in your recipe posts that people are actually searching for. There's some great tools available such as Google's Keyword Planner, SEMrush, Ahrefs, and Moz that can help you find relevant keywords for your niche. And once you've identified your keywords, make sure to include them in your post's title, metadata description, and throughout your content. This will help ensure that your post is seen by as many people as possible. So what else should you include in your recipe posts? Well, you want to make sure that you're doing internal linking. So that's linking to other pages on your website. It's not only a great way to keep people on your website for longer, but it also improves the search engine optimization of your recipe posts. Next, you want to make sure that you include user-friendly URLs. Your recipe post's URL is another SEO element that you should pay close attention to. A user-friendly URL is one that is short, descriptive, and includes your main keyword. Not only does it make it easier for readers to remember and navigate on your website, but it also makes your post more likely to show up in search engines. So an example of a good URL for your post would be something like yourwebsite.com/recipes/pasta with tomato sauce, instead of using a long sequence of numbers and letters. Images, of course, are a crucial part of any food blog post, but did you know that they can also help to improve your search engine optimization? Make sure you use descriptive file names on your images, include alt tags as we talked about before, and you want to make sure that you compress your images to reduce the load time for your viewers. Google rewards websites that load quickly, so optimizing your images can give you a boost in search engine results. This was pretty self-explanatory, but it might be not something you really thought through, and that is proper blog formatting. You want to make sure that you're using headings properly, so it's really easy for people to scan down your page. You want to make sure you use the proper HTML tags for these. So you want to start out with the H1 tag, and that's usually the title of your post. Then the H2 tag is the next major headline, and then H3 is any headlines that are underneath that H2 tag, and sometimes you might even have H4 tags. And then you want to be going back to the H2 tag, anything underneath that's H3 tag, and so on. Search engines look at it kind of like the outline of your post. So it's really important to use the proper tags in the right place. Another tip here is to include common questions about your recipe using an H2 tag. And that question could also be featured in Google's featured snippets section. So it's a really good idea to do this because it can get your post more visibility in the search results. All of this sounds fantastic, Tim, but how do I actually implement these strategies on my blog? Well, don't worry, I've got you covered. This tutorial right here will guide you through the technical aspects of incorporating these tips onto your WordPress blog. I'll walk you through each step so you can start providing exceptional content to your readers. So let's get started and bring your blog to the next level. And of course, if you have any questions, leave them down in the comments below. I also want to hear about what you are struggling with and what you need help with. If you have an idea for a video or something that you need help with, leave that down in the comments below also. And if you found this video helpful, give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video.